friends, and welcome to Brewing Success, where growth is the mission, change is the reward, and progress is the goal. I am your host, Andrea Gebhardt. I'm a former educator turned passionate entrepreneur whose desire to create impact has never wavered. I have spent the last decade teaching, mentoring, and coaching people on how to create success in their lives and businesses with proven strategies and systems that not only bring about change, but big results. When it comes down to it, teaching is my specialty, leadership is my jam, and inspiring you to live a bigger, fuller life is what I'm all about. This podcast will give you the knowledge and tools you need to brew success in almost any area of your life. You're going to walk away each week feeling inspired, motivated, and ready to step outside your comfort zone and into the next level of who you're meant to be. Now let's get into today's episode. Hey there, welcome back. In today's episode, let me just say this. If there's an area of your life where you feel like you're not succeeding, like you're stuck, like you're spinning your wheels, this episode is for you. In fact, I guarantee that after today's episode, you're going to have some clarity around exactly what you need to do to change that all around. So today we're talking about the power of systems and why they're the secret to success in life and business. And again, if there's an area of your life where you're not succeeding, chances are there's one key thing missing, and it's probably not what you think. And let me be clear here. I'm not just talking about success in business, in your career, in your job, in your side hustle. I'm talking about success in just about every arena of your life. A lack of progress and success is usually the result of a lack of systems. You see, systems are how we go about doing things. Systems are what keep us in motion and help us to make progress. Systems are the procedural approaches to how you get things done. And where there isn't a procedure or a system in place, then whatever you're doing is left to chance, and chance doesn't guarantee success. I wish you could see me talking right now because you would think I'm full-fledged Italian. The hands are everywhere in this one. So when I think about systems, honestly, I think back to being a teacher. I think about how we had procedures for everything in our classroom. Procedures for how homework was collected, how students used the bathroom, lining up for lunch, supply distribution, transitioning from one subject to another, a procedure for practically everything. In fact, most teachers spend their first few weeks of school teaching these procedures along with the curriculum so that, we can increase the effectiveness of our teaching, because all teachers know that classroom management is a key to successful learning environment. And as an administrator, I saw well-run, efficient classrooms with high levels of learning and student engagement taking place. And that was most often in the classrooms where the teacher had really good classroom management, due in part to having strong procedures and systems for things. And I also saw classrooms where with poor classroom management, which often had disengaged students, behavioral issues, low student achievement, procedures, systems, routines, whatever you want to call them, they create order. They create predictability and structure. And surprise, surprise, kids do better with structure. And guess what? So do adults. So do adults. So if success is what you're wanting, then systems are what you are going to need to put into place. You see, systems provide the strategy and consistency needed to sustain habits and routines long-term, ensuring growth and success. Systems are what sustain success. And again, if success is what you're looking for, then systems are what you need to put into place. So let me dive into a really simple example. Many of you know I'm a solo parent of 4 children. I don't know that I can call them children anymore because they're all teenagers. Got 1 in college, 2 in high school, 1 about to complete junior high. But I'm taking back to a time when they were all at home and, things were a little nuts. All you parents can agree out there. There's just that age range from like birth until always maybe, but that things are a little bit nuts. But as a parent, maybe they're a little bit more nuts for you. So if you're a parent and if you've ever struggled, right, I'm going to go with an example here that I feel like most people can relate to. But if you're a parent who's ever struggled with keeping up with laundry, then this is going to relate to you big time. So once upon a time, laundry in my house collected in rooms, hampers were overfilling, loads were being rewashed after being forgotten. The dryer was always full, often with the same load. And hampers of clean clothes took over the couch, folded clothes sat on the table or stacked in rooms on the dressers. The laundry situation was a disaster. The clutter alone left me feeling stressed and always behind. And it felt like laundry was a 24/7 ordeal. And it's so interesting because we know as moms, especially, younger moms, younger kids, like, oh my gosh, this is a challenge, this is an issue. But then we wear it like a badge of honor. Like, I did 32 loads of laundry today. Like, it's awesome. And it's not, because if you did that many loads of laundry, like, that means that your entire day was given away to that, which means you couldn't spend time doing other more important, more meaningful, more impactful things. And so I know many of you know this, especially the moms with younger kids and kids in sports know this feeling all too well. I mean, I think about it. Like, let's just have a real example here, and you can do this for yourself too. But when I think about it, in a week with just the kids, I'm only counting the kids stuff. That's like 112 pairs of chonies, aka underwear, a week, 56 pairs of socks, and roughly like 84 pieces of actual clothing items. That's if your kid doesn't change multiple times a day, like my daughter. And then you add to that towels and linens, uniforms, and then your clothing. It quickly adds up, and it quickly takes over. So in my home, there was really no system for how laundry was done, and it showed. Okay, it showed. Mount Washmore seemed inevitable, but I was ready to tackle it head on because it started to really kind of impact my mental health, right? Ladies, I know you understand what I mean when I say that. So I put a system into place, and it literally took about 2 weeks to take. And once it did, laundry was no longer a struggle. And for the first time ever, I was like a laundry boss. The laundry wasn't the boss of me. And just putting a system in place in that one little spot at home made everything so much better, everything so much more manageable. It took stress off of me, which made me a better mom. And it created predictability and routine for the kids. And that eliminated stress in and of itself. I was less stressed. I was more organized and way more efficient. So how did I do that? And it's so funny because when I have moms that come to me and they're just like feeling overwhelmed in life, I always ask, what's your laundry system? What's your system for laundry? Because laundry is a task we can't escape. We can't get away from. People are going to wear clothes. Clothes are going to get dirty. We're going to have to wash them. They're going to have to get put away. It's a never ending cycle. Laundry is a thing. And it's typically something that most people don't outsource, right? If you have housekeeping service that does your laundry, that is really cool. That does not happen in my house. I am the laundry service. And so that is to say, like, hey, listen, my kids all know how to do their own laundry. And if they need to do a load, like, they can handle. But for the most part, we run the system and it's super efficient and it's really, really great. So let me just break that down to you. So like I was saying, before I get ahead of myself here, when I have moms come to me like, I'm overwhelmed, I'm stressed, I'm this, I'm that, the first thing I ask is, what's your laundry system? And 9 times out of 10, they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, what system do you have in place for laundry? Laundry is an ongoing thing. It's an ongoing process. We rarely outsource it. There's nothing we can really do about it. And it's something we have to manage and be in control of, or it manages and becomes in control of us. And I teach this idea of system implementation through laundry to help create a bigger picture of how systems can simplify our lives. Systems can help us sustain success, and systems actually contribute to, growth and results in any area of your life. So I start with this laundry example. So, what I did is I thought about what didn't I want? What didn't I want? I did not want to be doing laundry all weekend. We're very busy during the week. Our weekends are our time to kind of like hang out and spend quality time together, to actually eat dinner all together, because during the week with sports and activities, that is not a reality for us. And so I, as a mom, I don't want to be cleaning my house on Saturdays. I don't want to be doing laundry all weekend long. I don't want any of that. And so that's something that I knew I didn't want it. So if I didn't want to do laundry on the weekend, I was going to have to figure out a way to get it done during the week. And so what would that look like? I didn't have time to, get it all done in one day. And I thought to myself, what if I just dedicated one day of the actual week to laundry? And then with that, be able to get it all done, be more efficient, have a load in and a load out, which, then you can manage getting it from the washer to the dryer, from the dryer back to where it goes, and really get a hold of this. So all I did was set it up so that on Mondays, linens and towels would get washed. So at some point on a Monday, depending on what the schedule looks like, that's the laundry that would get done on Mondays. On Tuesdays, I would do my personal laundry. On Wednesdays, I would do one of the kids' laundries. It's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Sometimes I would double up a kid with mine too. And that's kind of how I would get it done. I would knock it out. I would have each kid had their own laundry day, or I would double them up with mine. Each kid has their own hamper in their room. They have their own clothes. We have a separate towel for hampers, or a separate hamper for towels. And that's how we were able to get it done. So each day, what went from being 6 to 7 to maybe 8 loads of laundry done on a day over the weekend that would take hours. Each day, somebody's laundry would get done. And what that did is it eliminated a kid. Can I get my clothes done? When can I wash my clothes? My clothes need to be washed, blah, 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 blah. It also taught my kids other things, like not to leave granola wrappers in your pockets or gum in your pockets, because then their laundry would suffer the consequence of those types of things. It created routine and consistency in the house that everybody knew, like that their beds were going to get stripped, that sheets were going to be washed, towels are going to be washed. So make sure when you leave for school, all your towels are in the hamper, so all of that can get done. And, it just created predictability, it created routine, and it created structure. And it was no longer a fight to try to get kids to put away laundry on these other days that were so chaotic and so random. They knew, hey, my laundry's getting done today, it gets put away today. And so I love that system right there. It took about 2 weeks to get consistent with the routine, because hello life and learning something new. But again, it decreased my stress, created predictability routines for the kids. And it's amazing, because I, for the last, 9 years, have not done laundry in a weekend, have not had laundry piling up and all over the place and feeling like I don't have a hold of it. So systems are crucial to our success. Systems are crucial to our success in any arena of our life. And you can put a system in anywhere that you feel like you're struggling or not making progress, and watch magic start to happen. So again, systems simplify, systems drive results, and systems create lasting change. And I want to reiterate that anywhere you feel like you're not making progress, not getting results, and feeling unorganized, it's not you. It's not that you stink. It's not that you're not good at it. It's not that you're not capable. It's not that it's not meant for you. It's just a lack of systems. Nothing's been systematized in that space to enable you to be more successful. So you just haven't dialed in the framework for success in that area. And I'm going to teach you exactly how to do that. So we all need systems. We all need systems. Say it out loud right now where you are, shower, car, I don't care. I need systems. So we need systems for how we handle our finances, how we manage our homes, systems for how we build our businesses, systems for just about everything, especially in areas where we seek change. Habits, routines, and systems are all closely related because they work together to create structure, consistency, and efficiency in our lives. And so I want to take you through a breakdown of these things, because in order to understand systems and how they work, you have to understand habits and routines and how they play into the role of systems. All right. So habits are the foundation. Habits are small, automatic behaviors that we repeat regularly, often without much thought. For example, brushing your teeth. You have a habit, hopefully, of doing that at least twice a day. And you have a routine in how you do it, right? You get your toothbrush, you might wet it or not wet it. That's your routine. You put toothpaste on it a certain way, top to bottom, bottom to top. You squeeze it off the tube and clip it at the end so it doesn't smear all inside the cap. I mean, you have think about the things where you already have habits, okay? Drinking water in the morning, that's another habit. So habits are the building blocks of routines and systems. They're the smallest actionable steps that, when done consistently, lead to bigger outcomes. When multiple habits are intentionally linked, they become a routine. For example, you might have a morning routine or a nighttime routine. So when you think about your nighttime routine, you probably shut down the house, you probably head back to your bedroom, and your routine consists of certain things: taking a shower, washing your face, doing your skincare, taking your night supplements, brushing your teeth. Did I say brushing your teeth? Maybe I'm really just passionate about that today. Kissing your kids goodnight, whatever that might look like, jumping in bed, reading a book, getting out your Bible. guided meditation, whatever it looks like. I'm sure you have a routine already in place. And when you do, that routine is built of these little habits: washing your face, doing your skincare, taking your supplements, saying goodnight to your kids. Like, all of those things start to happen, and all of those habits become the order in which you complete that routine. And over time, because you've repeated that consistency, the routine develops, right? So routines are the blueprint. Habits are the foundation. Routines are the blueprint. Routines are a series of habits performed in a specific order or sequence to achieve a desired outcome. So routines provide structure and predictability, helping us move through our day efficiently. Routines are a deliberate, hear me when I say that to you, routines are a deliberate arrangement of habits. And when they're streamlined and repeated consistently, they form part of a system. So habits are the foundation, routines are the blueprint, and systems represent the big picture. Systems are the collection of interconnected routines, tools, and processes designed to achieve specific goals or maintain an overall way of living. So you might have a wellness system that includes meal prepping for the week, or workout schedules, or sleep routines. Systems ensure that habits and routines align with long-term objectives. They allow us to scale our efforts and maintain momentum. And that's why systems are so important. I want to say that again. They allow us to scale our efforts and maintain momentum. Systems integrate routines and habits into a cohesive framework to keep you on track and aligned with your goals. This is why systems matter. When I see people out there in the world, trying to be successful, trying to eat healthy, trying to be fit, you understand there's a difference between trying and doing. Doing is intentional. Doing means we have the habits that we want to commit to. Those habits string together to build those routines that keep us consistent and disciplined. And then we have those systems that bring it all together that help us ensure success. And so this is really important part of what we do. Systems integrate your routines and habits into a cohesive framework to keep you on track and aligned with your goals. And again, if you find yourself in a position where you're always struggling with your weight, you're always struggling with your finances, you're always struggling with relationships, you're always struggling with trying to figure out what to do for dinner, you're always struggling to figure out content creation, you're always struggling to move your business ahead, you're always struggling to get out of debt, that is a sign, my friends, that systems are lacking and the right things are not being put into place to ensure that you're on track in alignment with those big picture goals. So these three things work together because habits build routines that help us manage different parts of our lives. Routines, when organized and aligned, fuel systems. So these three things, again, I'm going to say this, work together because habits build routines that help us manage different parts of our lives. And routines, when they're organized and aligned, fuel systems. Systems drive results, providing strategy and consistency needed to sustain habits and routines long term, ensuring growth and progress. I want you to think about that for yourself. People who are fit, they have systems around working out. There's they have habits about taking their certain supplements. They have habits around getting to the gym. They have habits around their workouts. They have routines that are in place. They start their, like Tuesdays and Thursdays when I'm running to Pilates and bar and all of that stuff. Like that day when I wake up, it is leggings and tennis shoes and a workout shirt and sweatshirt, because I know that at the end of the day, I'm going to be working out. Like today, it's a Wednesday. I'm wearing jeans because I'm not headed to the studio. So it's like, on those days, I'm wearing a constant reminder of what I'm going to go do at 4:00, of what I'm going to go do in between those drop-offs and those pickup times. I'm going to go work out. My mind, my body, everything is prepped. That's a part of my routine. If you catch me on Tuesday and Thursday, not in leggings and workout clothes, there better be a pretty good reason, because that's a super solid system that I already have in place. So here's an easier way to think about these three things and their synergistic relationship. Habits, write this down, log this in your brain. Habits focus on what. It's the what you do. Brushing your teeth every day is a habit. Drinking water with your meals is a habit. What other habits do we have? Grabbing your sunglasses as you walk out the door. That's a habit. All right. So habits are what you do. Routines focus on when and how you do it. So when? Is it morning, noon, night, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 6 a.m.? When? So for example, let's say you are focused on personal growth and development. The habit is reading every day, reading a chapter. That's the what? Read a chapter. Okay. The routine is when and how. So when is every day. The routine is every day. The how is at 1 p.m., 3 p.m., 9 p.m. so that you are triggered by time to activate that routine. The system focuses on why and to what end you want you do it. Why? Why is it important for me to read a chapter of a book every single day? The why is because I want to continuously learn new information. I want to remain inspired. I want to be motivated. I want to challenge thoughts and beliefs that I currently hold. And I want to work to constantly improve myself so that I can provide the highest level of impact to people that I encounter. That is the why. And to what end? To provide the biggest impact. So now there's meaning to this system. Now it's got some meat added to it. So the habit is reading a chapter. The routine is every day at 12 p.m. And the system is why. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this and to what end? I mean, I love having you think about it this way because when you put that into practice, what's the habit? Walking. Okay. Walking. That's the habit. Walking, we'll call it a mile. When are you going to do it? And how are you going to do it? When? Walking a mile every single day, 8:30 a.m. when I drop the kids off at school and get back home. How do you do it? I do it with music. I do it in this location. I do it with a friend, whatever the case may be. Why? Because I want to be healthy. I want to work on my longevity. I want to keep my body moving because I want to be, I want to have vitality in older age. So this is a great way to think about it. So when you intentionally combine all three, you see what you do is you create a powerful framework for achieving goals while avoiding overwhelm. Can I get a yes, please on that? Like, we don't need any more overwhelm. Let's get to business. So it's kind of like stacking Lego blocks. Actually, this is actually a really good analogy. When you think about habits, routines, and systems, I want you to think about Legos. So habits are like the individual pieces, the individual Legos. Routines are the sections that you build. So when you look at those little guidebooks that Lego have, it's like, here, you're going to build this section, and then you're going to build this section, you're going to build this section. You need the individual pieces to build the section. Remember, routines are just habits that are strewn together. So the habits are the individual Lego bricks, the routines are the sections that you build, and the systems are the entire finished structure. That's a great way for you to really internalize and think about the relationship between habits, routines, and systems. So when you lack systems in life and business, listen, things can become quickly chaotic, overwhelming, and inefficient. Systems are like the backbone of productivity and success. They create structure and consistency. Without them, you're left trying to constantly reinvent the wheel. And that's when we get tired. That's when we get burnt out. That's when we want to give up. So here's what happens when systems are missing, whether it is in life or business. And don't be surprised if you have, in a moment here, a few aha moments as I share this with you, because I know as I was working on this and putting it together and doing some research that I was like, oh my gosh, this is why I've experienced this, because there was a system missing. There's a system missing. There's a system. You're going to be so excited. It's kind of like when you get the itch to reorganize a room or reorganize a closet or a pantry. Like, you can see it's a hot mess and you know it's not awesome. And every time you open the pantry door, you're like, oh my gosh, it's a disaster. Every time you open your closet, you're like, I've got to get to this. And it's once you get in there and you do that work and you organize things and you declutter and you get rid of the expired food, or you get rid of the clothes you haven't worn in 5 or 6 years, whatever the case may be, you feel better, you live better. I mean, it's just an instant elevation, and it allows you to be more successful in other areas. So let's talk about what a lack of systems creates. So a lack of systems creates a lack of consistency. So if consistency is your struggle, we're missing systems. Okay. So without systems, habits, and routines, without systems, habits and routines fall apart. They fall apart. making it difficult to maintain consistency in important areas like health, relationships, or personal growth, right? If we don't have a system, if we don't understand why we're doing it and to what end, then it kind of weakens the routine and it kind of weakens the habits. So I need you to see how this is all interconnected. So in business, for example, inconsistent processes lead to unreliable outcomes, missed deadlines, poor customer experiences. For example, if you don't have a system for onboarding new team members, every team member gets a different experience. And if you don't have a system for how you do your work, your efforts will be inconsistent and your results will be poor. This is why systems matter. What do I need to do? When and how am I going to do it? And why does it matter and to what end? Like, what's the goal here? Those are the things we want to be thinking about. So a lack of systems also creates decision fatigue. You see, without systems, you're constantly deciding what to do next, which leads to mental exhaustion. For example, if you don't plan meals, like if you don't plan your meals for the week, chances are you spend time and energy every single day trying to figure out what to eat. You're that mom who's driving around, picking up kids, like, what are we going to do for dinner? You have no idea. There's no plan because you don't have a system in place. You're asking your spouse or your partner or whoever right after breakfast, what do you want for dinner tonight? Because there's no plan, that there's no system in place for it. So we want to make sure that and that's exhausting. It's so exhausting that you're just like, forget it. Whatever. You guys can have sandwiches or cereal. Like, I don't want to mess with it. Tell me you haven't been the mom who's just been like, I don't even want to cook dinner. I don't want to think about dinner because it's become dreadful and it's become a chore because there's no plan or system or routine in place when it comes to preparing meals. And a simple system ad can change all of it. So when it comes to business, if you don't have a workflow or strategy in place, you waste a ton of time and a ton of energy figuring out what tasks to tackle or how to do them or how you should even handle them. And this delays progress and creates inefficiency because then you procrastinate, then you self-distract, and you self-destruct. So in the end, decision fatigue reduces productivity, creativity, and overall performance. I mean, do you want to be unproductive? Do you want to lack creativity? Do you want to have poor performance? If the answer to all three of those is no, then we got to look at our systems, okay? So a lack of systems also results in missed opportunities for growth. Look, without systems for personal development, reading daily, journaling, goal setting, it's easy to stagnate and miss out on opportunities to grow and achieve your full potential. And in business, growth often depends on scalability, and systems are what make that possible. Without them, scaling becomes impossible because you're stuck managing day-to-day chaos instead of focusing on strategic growth. So in summary, lack of growth keeps you stuck in survival mode rather than thriving. And again, this is all of these things are a result of a lack of systems. And a lack of systems also results in wasted time and energy. And there are two things that I don't know if I would call them icks. I know that's like a new popular word for pet peeve, by the way. But like two things that really get at me. Number one, I'll just be completely vulnerable here with you. And I've started to really share this with my teenager kids who are becoming adults because I think it's important for them to know and understand how people operate, especially their mother. I cannot handle not being appreciated. Meaning, if I do something, I don't need praise, I don't need accolades, I don't do it for the recognition. But your attitude, tone, and demeanor reflects appreciation for another person. For example, my daughter does competitive dance. She dances like 20 hours a week. It is an intense, rigorous schedule. She's a champion. She's got like straight A's. She's a good kid. She works her butt off, and I'm so proud of her. And she manages it so well, except for when we have to get up in the mornings. That part she is not good at because she's tired. So it's like dragging a dead body through half-dried cement. So not that I know what that's like, by the way, disclaimer, but I mean, I can imagine. So I get to make her kind of like a after school snack / pre-dinner because she literally gets out of school at 3:15, has to be at the studio by 3:45, which it takes us that 30 minutes is what it takes us to get to her dance studio. And then she dances for 4.5 hours straight. There's no breaks, nothing. Class to class to class to class to class. So what she eats in the car has to be sufficient and substantial enough to fuel her body to be able to do all of that well, do it all safely. And so I have the task of figuring out what type of food to pack for her. And depending on what my day's obligations are, and as I'm talking to you about this, I'm realizing I have a semi-system in place, but maybe if it was more systematized, it'd be a lot easier. Wow. When you learn while you're teaching for yourself, that is a mega, that's a mega win. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to put a system in place for this. I love systems. They're so fun. Like once you understand how they can really unlock your potential and unlock newer levels of success, it's just going to blow your mind. I'm just going to tell you right now, it's going to blow your mind, and you're going to start doing this stuff and you're like, Andrea, this is amazing. I'm like, I know, we're going to have a success party and it's going to be amazing. But like, and now my brain is just like working towards like, all right, we got to get systematized that. What does that look like? The ideas are going there. But anyways, going back to appreciation, because that's just kind of where I bird walked, I guess. But, some days I have it all together. Some days I don't. And, she gets in the car. It's been a long day at school. She doesn't love junior high. She knows she's got a long day ahead of her. So sometimes her attitude isn't the greatest. And I give her all the grace in the world because I get it. I remember being 14. I remember all of that. So, I'll have a snack ready and stuff ready in the car. She's like, I really was hoping for, disappointment and, or just, I'm just not going to eat. And I'm sitting there like, you little stink bug. I put all this together, made sure I had it, got to take care of this. I've all these things, can you just not say anything? Can you just be like, Mom, thanks. Do you have to tell me it's not what you want, or you would have wanted something different, or that you're not going to eat it at all altogether? I don't feel appreciated when you make comments like that, telling her all of that. So that's one thing I really don't love. There's an ick, not being appreciated when the effort is there. And then the other thing is I hate wasted energy. Energy is so precious. Energy is such an incredible personal commodity. And if you've been with me here for a while, and if you've listened to Brewing Success for a while, we've talked energy, we've taught energy, we've really, given you the tools and resources to understand the cultivation and the gift that energy is. And so I hate wasted energy. It's not okay with me. I don't love that. Wasted energy on dumb conversations, wasted energy on useless arguments, wasted energy on anything. I don't love it. And I don't love wasting time at all whatsoever. So this is where probably systems for me creates the biggest reward, because it decreases the likelihood that you're going to waste time and energy. So when systems are not in place, you spend more time doing repetitive tasks that could have been streamlined, like figuring out your weekly schedule or remembering when bills are due. Without systems, you'll waste hours chasing information, duplicating work, or even fixing mistakes. And this level of inefficiency, here's what happens. It compounds over time, and it costs you opportunities to focus on higher priority goals. And it's here that burnout becomes a real threat, as you're stuck in the weeds instead of moving forward. Systems allow you to appropriately use energy. They make the best use of your time, which enables you to be more productive, more successful, all the things. So systems are critical in life and business, because they take the guesswork out of the daily tasks and the big picture goals, allowing you to stay consistent in your habits and actions, save time and energy by automating and streamlining repetitive tasks, make decisions confidently because you already have a structure in place. So for example, when I started thinking about this, yesterday was Tuesday. I made her a really great smoothie as her snack after school, 25 grams of protein, loaded with fruits, all the things, good fuel, easy for her to eat in the car. And now I just started thinking, maybe I should do smoothies every Tuesday. Then she knows to expect a smoothie. So if she wants to request a different fruit, she knows after school already what her snack is going to be. Maybe half of her attitude coming into the car is not knowing what mom decided to put together. So maybe Mondays, it's a sandwich and some snacks. Maybe Tuesdays, it's a smoothie and a small snack. And then maybe Wednesdays, I'll do kind of a hodgepodge of things, like some fruit, some crackers, some protein, a fun drink, maybe just for to make her smile, a cookie, I don't know. But if I have that in place, then I know what I need to do. I don't have to figure it out last minute. I don't have to like scan the pantry and try to pull it together. She knows what to expect. She knows she's going to be getting a peanut butter Nutella sandwich. I know, whatever. She knows she's going to be getting a smoothie or whatever the case may be. Like, I'm so excited to systematize this. It's going to make my life so much easier and our relationship so much better. It's fantastic. So, when you have systems in place, it allows you to focus on growth rather than putting out fires, right? So James Clear, the author of one of my favorite books of all time, Atomic Habits, if you haven't read it, go read it, study it, make it a studyable thing. Don't just read it once and throw it on your shelf, like study this book. He has the best quote. He says, "You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems." What that says to me is that no goal is actually truly attainable if you don't have the systems in place. Your goals don't matter if you don't have systems to support them. Bam! Oh my gosh. Yes, my armpits are getting sweaty because I'm so passionate and fired up about this topic with you right now. You see, both failure and success are systematic. You hear what I'm saying there? Failure is just as systematic as success is. And if we get to choose failure over success, we're going to choose success every time. But we got to have the systems in place to make it happen. And having successful systems in place is what's going to keep you on track and working towards achieving those goals, regardless of what they are. Remember, my goal at one point was to get laundry under control. Your goal might be to get out of debt, save more money, increase your revenue in your business, increase your production levels, increase the size of your team, increase the number of miles that you can run, your strength, your endurance, your stamina. So what we have now is an awareness of the power of systems. So let's take inventory. I want to do this inventory with you so bad because awareness creates opportunity for action. You know, I believe that. I teach it. Awareness creates opportunity for action. Now we've created awareness about how important systems are, how habits, routines, and systems work together, and how it's not you. It's not you. It's just your lack of systems. You know that old commercial, like maybe she was born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline, right? Like, I have a cute little cosmetic bag that says maybe she was born with it. Maybe it's Instagram filter because I think it's funny. But like, maybe she was born with it. Maybe it's her systems. Mind blown. I'm just loving this in the moment stuff. It's so good. So let's take an inventory to see where we need to get to work. And by we, I mean you, me here. I'm here. I'm going to help you. I actually also created like a worksheet on this so you can print it out. You can get it in the show notes. You can DM me for it. But there will be a link. You can grab this little framework here to kind of help you with this process. So first we got to reflect. And I want you to think about the areas in your life or business where you feel overwhelmed. So once upon a time for me, that was laundry. Inconsistent. So that might be inconsistent in building your business. Like some days you do it, some days you don't. Or disorganized. Where do you feel disorganized? I want you to think about that. And I just want you to jot it down. Like, where in your life or business do you feel overwhelmed, inconsistent, or disorganized? So where do you feel like you're spinning your wheels and not making progress? Is it your health, relationships, finances, personal growth, home organization, time management? In your business, is it content creation, client onboarding, lead generation, team communications, follow-ups? Now, I want you to rate each category on a scale of 1 to 5 for how well it's working. 1, it needs major help. 5, I'm thriving. When I think about this for myself, you know, where I need help, or where I feel disorganized, or where I feel overwhelmed, when you rate it and you write it down, you actually get an idea. Like, oh my gosh, this is an area that's thriving. This is an area that's not. This is where I need a system. This is where I need a system. This is where I need a system. I mean, I had the aha moment just here with you now on the show. Like, I need a system for this little snack window before I take my daughter to dance. So you're going to rate yourself 1 to 5 on how well it's working. So 1, major help. 5, thriving. Probably 3, it could be better, right? So what tasks or goals, here's the next question. What tasks or goals do you keep putting off because they feel too big or too confusing? So if you dread, for example, tracking your expenses, you probably need a system to automate it and simplify it. And I'm pretty sure there's an app for that. If you can't stay consistent with workouts or eating routines or your weight, if you can't stay consistent with the things that matter to you, maybe a routine or system is going to help. So which areas of your life or business are thriving? What areas are thriving and why? What systems or resources do you have in place already? And when I think about this for myself in business, for me, customer acquisition, customer follow-up, customer care, customer support, customer retention, that is thriving. Like I have over 1,000 personal customers, and that's because there's systems in place for all aspects of that. There's systems, there's routines, there's habits in place for all of that, which allows me to be really good in that area. And when you look at the areas of your life or your business where things are thriving, and you start to look at why they're thriving, you're going to peel back those layers and see that there are systems already in place. There are routines already in place. There are habits already in place. And what that goes to show you, what that also reveals, is what you're capable of in other areas of your life. Because if you can develop a system in one area, you can develop it in another, but it's that level of awareness and intentionality that we got to grab onto in order to do that. So these are just a few of the things you can do to create clarity for yourself so you know how to move forward. So my challenge for you today is this. Number one, I want you to identify one area of your life or business that feels chaotic or inconsistent. Then I'm going to take 5 minutes to write down the specific problems you face in that area. And then I want you to brainstorm one small habit or action you could take to improve it. And then I want you to put it into action. So yesterday I was coaching someone about this. She was feeling like her biggest challenge was customer acquisition in her business, getting new customers. She felt like that's a challenge to her. That felt like an area she was inconsistent in, kind of spinning her wheels. She felt like she was doing the things, but she wasn't getting progress. And I said, okay, what's the specific problem that you face in that area? She's like, well, getting into conversations with people and remembering who I talk to or who I need to share information with, yada, yada, yada. And so I said, okay, what's one small thing that you could do to change that? What's one small thing that would make that better? And she said, well, if I just started tracking like the conversations I was in, or the people I was talking to. And I said, okay, so we're going to start to track. We're going to put that into action. We're going to, and you got to want to have things to measure. So I'm like, all right, to you, what feels like a good place to start? How many conversations or how many people do you want to be in communication with about your products and services so that you can acquire new customers? So you spend your time working that day until you accomplish that, right? And so we have that into place. So that's my challenge for you today, is to do that. Identify an area in life and business that feels chaotic or inconsistent. Take 5 minutes to write down the specific problems that you're facing, and then brainstorm a small habit or action that you can take to improve it and put it into action. It's that simple. And I want you to remember that successful systems are built over time. Remember, it took me 2 weeks just to get the laundry thing in order. So start small and give yourself grace. And I promise you that when you put this into action, you will experience reduced stress and mental overload. You're going to be more consistent in achieving your goals. You're going to have more time and energy for growth and creativity. And you're going to get better results with less effort. So, join me back here, guys, next week, because I'm going to talk about my top 10 tips for creating winning systems that are going to really help you thrive. But for now, start small, reflect deeply, and take a small step toward building the life and the business you've been dreaming of. Thank you guys for being here, for joining me today on this episode of Brewing Success. If this episode impacted you, shifted things for you, send it to 3 people that you're coaching, that you're mentoring, that you're working with, that need to hear this. Post it on social media. Tell me what meant the most to you. Jump on over to the podcast, write a review on this very episode right here. Let us know what you love. Let me know what you learned. It would mean everything to me. Again, thanks for joining me here on another episode of Brewing Success, where growth is the mission, change is a reward, and progress is the goal.